Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Down to Earth Astronomy. We're once again playing Fractured Space, and this time we're again playing in a cooperative battle, so against AI, and I'm playing in the Sentinel. Here, right at the beginning of the battle, I hold back at the base, try to see where the rest of my team goes. I see we have 3 people already jumping to the beta site, so I go here with, is that a Basilisk, I think? And we're going to the Alpha site. Now the Sentinel, if you're not familiar with the ship, it is one of the starter ships, but it's very, very mobile. It's a very good mid-range ship, so you should try to avoid getting up too close, especially when you're fighting with a brawler like I'm doing here, because if that gets within 5 kilometers of you, you're dead. So you see I try to keep my distance here, keep the fire up, keep flying away from him. He's trying to get closer to me, and now he's switching his focus to my ally, to the Basilisk. And you can see here the smart weapons on the Sentinel is actually homing, so that means that you do not have to aim that carefully, and you can also fire around corners sometimes if you're careful. So the brawler is down, and that is when I spot this Reaper. Now the Reaper, of course, has all its guns, or most of its guns, at the front, so its firepower is very, very good when it's facing you. So for whatever you want to do, don't get in front of it. So you can see here I try to hide behind the rock, and I try to get over it and behind the Reaper. I unfortunately fly into one of the rocks, but it's okay, we can stay above him. And he should be, and yeah, there he is, he's dead. So that's it, that's 2 ships very, very early on in the game. It's a very good start. Now, here's the brawler again. He respawned. I begin to fire a little bit early before my shots can actually hit him. But as soon as he is in range... Oh, did you see that? He fired this long, thin, single missile. That's the harpoon attack that he can use. If he hits you with that, he's able to wheel you in. And you cannot escape from him. So I get a little bit close to him here. So I use my my thrust surge to get some distance to him, because I don't want to be too close to this brawler, because he's gonna rip me apart in seconds. So I stay out here. I'm currently 10 kilometers out, and you can see I can comfortably sit out here, and I can keep the fire up at him. And if I was looking where I was going, I could also avoid flying into the rocks. As we're sitting out here, we're not doing a massive amount of damage, but that's really the thing with the Sentinel. You're not gonna alpha people down. This is slowly grinding them down until they go down eventually. So once again, the Reaper is back. You don't want to get in front of him, so I should probably start moving forward here. And as you can see, I try to get behind him again, and again keep the fire up as much as I can. I begin to take some fire from another ship. It seems. Where is he? There he is. That's the Enforcer. And did you see that? As soon as I got in front, as soon as the Reaper managed to get his front towards me, he ripped me apart in no time at all. And that's simply just the immense power that the Reaper have if you're able to face your enemy. So the Reaper is also a very good mid-range ship, and you should probably try to, if you play the Reaper, you should try and stay together with someone and a little bit at the back, so they will stay up front and you stay maybe 5 to 10 kilometers behind them, so you can easily keep your front straight toward the enemy, because that's really where the Reaper excels. Okay, so we are back. I respawned. Unfortunately, I came too late to save my friend in the Basilisk, so I put up on this Enforcer. He's a fairly weak ship, hit point wise. So I should be able to take him on one-on-one. You can see... Oh no, they actually missed. Here we go. I fire the secondaries, which weakens his armor. So look at the damage that we do now. Before we're doing something like 100, maybe 200 per volley. But when you fire the Reaper's secondary weapon, you strip their armor, you can easily do 700 to 800 per volley, and that's when the Reaper really begins to hurt. So again, we have a brawler. I try to use my secondaries. Some of them hit, so I may have stripped some of his armor. You can see we're doing decent damage now. We're doing 280 each time we hit him. I'm reversing, trying desperately to keep some distance to him. And when I realized that he's going faster forward than I am, I used my boost to get some distance to him again. And there we go. We take him down with the help from one on our team. So this is a bad situation. This is where you don't want to be. 10 kilometers straight in front of a Reaper. I try to hide behind this rock, try to prevent him from shooting at me, and luckily he loses interest in me as the basilisk gets very, very close to him. Once again, use my secondaries, try to strip his armor, and we can begin to really hurt him now. And this is really where I don't want to be in a Reaper. You can see he's facing the wrong way. All his enemies are behind him, and his firepower to the sides and behind him is, I think, only 25% of what his total firepower is. So again, not the ideal position to be in for Reaper. We have another enemy ship. Didn't really see which one that was, but at this point there's only 30 seconds until the gamma sector unlocks. And I see all my friendly ships are slowly jumping out, and the enemy ships are also jumping in. We still have 24 seconds, so I decide to go in, get a little bit of repair before we go into the gamma sector, just to go in with as much hit points. And we just managed to get full hit points before we actually land. Here we have the Enforcer again. I open up with my missiles and all my weapons, trying to get him down as fast as possible, trying to keep my friendly destroyer in the game. My secondary weapons miss, but we can keep up the fire and we take him down eventually. I'm trying to help my team by focusing fire, so I see that what ship is that? Is that a Colossus? Looks like a Colossus. Sounds like a Colossus. Probably is a Colossus then. It takes a lot of damage, so I decide to focus on him as well. So you can really, instead of having 2 ships on half health, it's much better if you can get 1 ship down as early as possible. And you see here I try to get some distance, and that's the thing you have to do. It's really a boom and zoom ship, the Sentinel. So you have to go in, do the damage, get your secondary weapons in, strip his armor, and then get away when you begin to take too much damage. So it's not really the best ship for a gamma attack, simply because you cannot stay inside the area for too long. All my missiles hit the edge there, not the best launched ever. Again, I see the brawlers on low health, so I switch to him, trying to help with the kill, to get him down quickly, and I return back to the Reaper, and the Reaper is down, and we continue on to the, is that the Enforcer again? Yes, that's the Enforcer. Here what I talked about earlier, you see I can shoot around corners, because my missile or my shots are homing, even though he's turning too fast. The Enforcer gets killed by my teammates, and we find a Colossus. And the Colossus is really it's a ship with a lot of hit points, but really a ship that you can do well against in the Sentinel. If you manage to get in, strip his armor, if he's focused somewhere else. See, right now he's focused on our friendly ship over there, which allows us to just run circles around him and put shot after shot into him. So we got the gamma sector. That was a good fight, I think. And now we have to get back to the areas at the side and begin to focus on getting the endpoints. I'm on a little under half health, so I decide to go into to the forward station, both to get a little bit of repairs, but also to get the upgrades, so my ships are in top condition. And you can see this red, orange, yellowish glow. That's the boost that we get from the gamma sector. So with full health, boost from the gamma sector, and almost all my abilities off cooldown, we're in pretty good shape. And there you can see the brawler. He managed to get a hold of the friendly ship and pull him in. And see, there it is again. He's being pulled in by by the brawler. That's what it does. If you hit him, if he hits you with that Hadouken attack, you're gonna have a hard time getting away. But luckily we get him down before he managed to kill any of us. And then we have, is that the Enforcer again? No, that's the Protector? I can't remember, I can't recall those two ships apart. But anyway, he is dead, and we have the Colossus again. So first I begin slowly opening up at a distance. I go into to sniper mode. I thought I was going to fire my secondaries. Now would be a good time to fire my secondaries. There we go. And now we can really stack up the damage quickly. Look at that. We fire some missiles. We start our point defense. Keep moving around him. I should probably get a little bit more distance here. Simply because the Sentinel does not do that well on this short range. But with the help from our friends, we managed to get him down. And once again, the brawler is back. I don't know how many times we've been fighting this guy in this battle so far. He's partly hidden behind a rock, so I hold back on the secondaries. I want to wait until he's out in the clear. I'm in doubt where he's going to go. I thought he was going to go forward. I see my friendly Sentinel here that he is engaged at the other side of the sector. So I decided to go over there as well and leave the brawler where he is, because again, he's not that effective at distance. So as long as we can keep him at range, it doesn't really matter. So I try to stay close to my friendly ship here, but unfortunately they lose interest in him and focus on me. I tried to get out with using the boost and then activating the jump home, the emergency jump home. But unfortunately, I think I was a little bit too early on the jump. I should probably have waited until the boost has actually was over, so I got some distance before I activated my jump. Because when you activate your jump, you are very vulnerable to damage. So let's use the respawn time here to have a look at the map, see what's going on here. So we can see here that our friendly team is about to capture the enemy forward station, and we have the first of our ships trying to get in, but he gets killed with a large amount of enemy ships. I decide that I can probably not manage it to that end station before either all of the friendly ships have jumped out or it's been recapped. So I decided to go to the alpha site instead and use my boost to try and get up to the other forward station, to try and put as much pressure on the enemy as possible, simply by having, if we're able to have hold two forward stations at the same time, that would put a tremendous amount of pressure on them, especially with only 2 minutes to go before the gamma sector unlocks. But once again, we spot the Reaper and also the Colossus, and we're currently alone in here. Yeah, so okay, I actually thought I was going to run away. Yeah, there we go. Use the speed to get away. I'm down to 212 hit points. Oh, I got hit. No, I got hit again. I almost got out there. It was very close. But again, the Reaper managed to get in the last few shots. I was trying to get out because I cannot fight both a Colossus and a Reaper at the same time. And I really think that the Sentinel does best in a team with at least one other ship. But you can make those, because it's so quick, you can make those zoom attacks for the forward station if you think there's an opening. So we didn't get much out of that respawn. So again, we have to sit around and wait, and we can use the time to try and have a look around the map, see what's going on. Again, we can see we're heavily engaged in the beach area. There are currently 2 ships. We have 3 ships there, and looks like the enemy team have 2 ships at the Alpha. That's probably the Reaper and the Colossus that we saw before. I'm gonna spawn here, and there's only 40 seconds until the gamma sector unlocks. I was considering going to Alpha, But I realized that would probably just mean I would that I would be killed before the gamma sector unlocks. So I move to the gamma sector, and just as I land, so does two of the enemy ships. The brawler is already heavily damaged, probably from the fight in the beta sector. So I decide to get him down first, as quickly as I can. Now, currently there are two ships against me. So use my boost, get away, get some distance to the enemy ships, try and stay alive for as long as possible. Right now it's just a waiting game. I just need my friendly ships to come here and support me. That's why I'm trying to keep my distance. Luckily, my allies, they unlock the enemy base, which forces the two ships to jump out, or at least they decide to abandon the gamma sector at 81%. That's really lucky for us. I guess this is where you get the bit odd behavior when you play against AIs. I mean, if this was a real player, that would probably have stayed around for the 2-3 seconds it would have taken them to capture the last part of the gamma sector, just to get that boost. But that allows us to go in and capture the gamma sector without any kind of content. Now, right now I would be able to jump to the enemy base, but I do not. Simply because if you look at the amount of health I have left, I would be ripped apart even though all the other ships were focusing on my allies. I would still be ripped apart simply because of the station weapons, the station guns. So instead, I decide to go to the alpha site and get a little bit of repairs. And also, when you get these gamma buffs, for capturing the gamma sector, they only last until you die. So when you have them, you really need to try and take care of them. Use them as much as you can. So that's why I want to go. I want to get healed up. And here I have two choices as I see it. I could either go to gamma and then jump to the enemy base once my jump is off cooldown, but decide again, try to do the same as I did before. Try to make a quick dash for the other end station, simply to try and put the absolute maximum amount of pressure on the enemy. Again, with those rocks, I'm not really good at avoiding them apparently. And because I'm alone in the sector, I can capture all these mining stations and the fallen stations very quickly. My boost is off cooldown, so I use it to, as quickly as possible, get to the end station and get it captured, and see how quickly we can capture it once we're alone in the sector. And I turn my ship towards the station simply because the orientation and the velocity of your ship is preserved through a jump. So I guess this is approximately the direction I want to go when I come out of war. So that's the way I'm going to point my ship. So currently we are 27%, but we are not capping simply because they have, it looks like 3 or 4 ships inside the capping circle, and we only have what looks like 3 ships right now. So I stay right at the edge of the cap circle, trying to get the brawler down. And you see here, he actually catches me with his harpoon. He must have caught me right when I flew past him. So I desperately try to keep my traverse up. I'm hoping that I could get him down before my boost came off cooldown, but I couldn't. So I decided to use my boost to get away from him, simply because I do not want to sit close to that brawler for too long. That of course means that the boost is now again on cooldown, and we are stuck quite a long distance away from the station. Again, I'm looking for easy targets here, something that I can kill quickly, simply because there's no difference whether it's a sentinel or an enforcer that's in this station. They all cap at the same rate, and the enforcer is much easier for me to kill. And again, you see I use this hit and run tactic. I go in close, do the damage, and I get away, and I do the last amount of damage at a distance. Again, with the help from one of our friends. I love that effect from the Basilisk with that. Okay, So I'm at very, very low health right now, and we're still not capping. So there are 3 minutes until the gamma sector unlocks. If I spend too long in here now, I could risk being on cooldown while the gamma sector is unlocked. I don't want to do that. Currently we are 3 ships, so I decided to go into the cap circles because we have the upper hand. Of course, unfortunately, that means that the station guns are gonna get me down. But we did manage to cap a little bit, and now it means because I decided to quote-unquote kill myself a little bit earlier, that now I will actually be coming out of the respawn before the cap or before the gamma sector unlocks. Alternatively, I could have stayed at range and then used the jump home command and get home to the base and get some repairs. But I decided to go in over the station because I saw we have the upper hand and we were able to get a few cap points in. We managed to cap it all the way to 44%. So I think that was worth it, and we see now they are very heavily engaged in the at the enemy base. I think all their ships are currently in the base. So 2 minutes until the gamma sector unlocks. That should give me time for maybe, if I'm lucky, one more run. But all the enemy ships, once the enemy base was empty, they of course immediately spread out and tried to secure jump access to their base. Sorry. The one only friendly ship I had here in the beta sector get killed by the 3 enemy ships. So I decided to use that they haven't capped the base fully and jump to their base. And of course they follow me back, and there they are, all of them. So right now I'm just waiting for my my shield boost to get off cooldown. And because I'm faster than them, I can get into the gamma sector, into the base very quickly. We're actually 2 ships in here, and and they managed to get inside the circle, inside the cap area at 96%. That is so close. I really thought we had it here. But we're currently in front. We are 96 to 0, so that's pretty good. Again here, I tried to get out this time. Should probably have gone a little bit more distance, but again, in the heat of the battle, I make mistakes, and I suspect any other player would do that. I haven't played the game for that long. Now, unfortunately, that means that I have to wait approximately 20 seconds after the gamma sector unlocks before I respawn. We have 2 ships that are currently respawning while the gamma sector unlocks, and that dies another one, so we're only 2 ships right now. And they have, I think, all of their ships. So as you can see now, they're able to cap the gamma sector very quickly, and that's a huge problem because that means they're now unlocking jump access to our base. So this game suddenly became very interesting. Are we gonna go full out defense trying to defend our base, or are we going to try and get that last 4%? I decide to try and go back and help, simply because there's no one at the base and there are 3 ships. So I decide I need to try and defend the base. I used my boots to get inside the circles, slowing down their cap, and immediately begin focusing on the enforcer again, because it's a fairly easy ship to kill. It doesn't have that many hit points. And with the help from the station cannons, I should be able to get him down. But they're capping very quickly, and my teammates are very slow to get into this. And they're 90%, 95, 90. No, that was so close. Such a heartbreak. 96%, and they managed to stop us at the last second, and then suddenly they just snatched the victory from us at the last second. I was so disappointed when this game ended because it was so close. But I really hope that you enjoyed this game. If you did, give give the video a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and you're also more than welcome to send me some of your videos. I don't think the game has a replay system yet though, but if you have any clips that you want to share, get in contact with me. There's a mail in the description down below where you can contact me, and I would love to feature some of your games on the channel. But until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in space.